What's up, people? Hope and pray all is going well. I am Conquering Mountains, host of the I Am Conquering Mountains podcast. If you followed my podcast last year, you heard some of the most heartfelt, heartbreaking stories from guests that I've had on the podcast last year, from domestic violence to abuse to mental health disorders, grief, loss of loved ones. All those things played out in the I Am Conquering Mountains podcast season 1. But season 2, I'm going a little bit more in-depth with childhood trauma. How? I'm going to go more in-depth with my own traumatic experiences that I have endured in my childhood. If you've read my book, if you've gone to my website or my YouTube page and you've seen my mini documentary, you know that I am familiar with childhood trauma, a victim of childhood trauma as well. So this season is dedicated to conquering childhood trauma. I'm going to have some experts, some educators as well, some experts that are mental health professionals like school psychologists, school counselors, social workers, LCSWs, licensed clinical social workers as well, on the podcast to give us a microscopic view of what childhood trauma is, how to recognize it, how to help a child to conquer it as well. Also give you a microscopic view into my own experience with childhood trauma and how I'm conquering that as an adult through my new YouTube series, I Am Conquering Childhood Trauma. Each week you will get an episode of me going to therapy, talking about me going to therapy and the things that I'm working on in therapy. I think it's very important to do this because a lot of us men, especially men of color, more specifically Black men, tend to shy away from going to therapy oftentimes because because we men, you know, we have a macho ego concept sometimes and we think we can handle it all on our own. However, we go to the doctor for our physical health. We can also go to the doctor for our mental health as well. And going to therapy is okay. You know, so I want to make sure that everyone gets an understanding of what childhood trauma is, how to conquer it, how to overcome it, how to recognize it in today's youth as well as in adults as well, and things that we can do to help one another and support one another as we navigate the hardships of acknowledging that we have had traumatic experiences in our childhood, addressing those things and having the tough conversations with those that impacted us in our childhood who brought on that trauma. You know, we're going to navigate some of those conversations. We're going to navigate the therapy, and I'm going to share my experience, more of my experiences in my next season in my YouTube series, as well as in my next season of the I'm Conquering Mountains podcast. Also, stay tuned tomorrow, Conquering the Mondays, bright and early, 6 a.m. Get up, tune in, make sure you join it, make sure you check it out, because we are going to help you to conquer the toughest, most anxiety-provoking day of the week, which is Monday. But that's not all, because we often run into that midweek hump on Wednesday. We're going to talk about conquering hump day as well. And then on Friday, we're going to do a Friday peak reflection. We say peak reflection because we've conquered the week. We're standing on the peak that Friday, and we're going to look back at all that we accomplished. But we also want to look forward as well, too. So we know that on Friday, yeah, we get off the 9 to 5. We're off of work for the weekend. We get to relax and unwind. However, those goals do not accomplish themselves. Those mountains that you are working on conquering will not conquer themselves. You still got work to do, and that's what we're going to focus on Friday. So tune in. This year, 2023, I am conquering mountains. So are you.